You've talked about the importance of journaling because,
So
quote,
important.
living is reliving.
Reliving.
I love that phrase.
I came up with that because it's like, wow, I see so many people who get after you for like filming a concert and they go, live in the moment. I'm like, dude, it's counterintuitive. The moment goes by like this.
Yeah.
We're not going to remember any of this. The fact that we taped it, thank God. Because later on, it's going to be a file photo of me remembering you, 3 pound me computer. All I'm going to have is a file photo of you maybe in a suit and you picturing me in maybe a black t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And the metadata narrative is going to say, had a great talk about if we remember
Yeah.
creativity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like their brain doesn't remember. But when I pull up old home movies, I can show my kids that I just found, and they're like, they don't remember it. I don't remember filming it. And it's like new adventures of it becomes iconic and it sticks in our head. And all our jokes are based on old things that we used to do and say. So living is reliving. So keeping a journal is very important because I found that anything at past 15 years, it's like I'm reading someone else's journal. I'm like, I didn't even know that's where I got that guitar. I thought I bought that guitar. It was given to me. It's like a $10,000 Santana. It was given to me my birthday by the studio that I made that movie. How did I not remember that? It's like crazy what you don't remember. And it's the brain is very, it's not a very, reliable computer. It's made out of freaking butter.
That's a really profound idea that so much of our life is lived through replaying our memories.
Yeah.
And then watching stuff is one of the ways to sort of refresh, give some more, texture and details.
It makes it iconic. It makes it
Yeah.
iconic in your life and part of your life. Otherwise, it just went by. It went by. Like I'll ask people, like, we just had a really, what did we do last week? What did we do last Wednesday? And they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I can tell you because I wrote it down, but I'm not going to remember. And then when you go through your journal, like I go back and I find, wow, life-changing thing happened Friday. Another life-changing thing I didn't know at the time till now I know that really set me on happened Saturday. And another big freaking thing happened on Sunday. Like they come in threes sometime. You start being able to predict the future a little bit because you see the patterns. And it's pretty wild to do that. And I swear I've talked to people, big group of people, 500 people. How many people here journal?
Mm-hmm.
2 hands, 3 hands. I couldn't believe it. It's like, man, you guys, if there's anything I can impart on you is journal. Your life is way more interesting than you think because it's not going to feel like anything while it's going by. But in retrospect, you look back. Like I can just go through, I keep a journal, one file per year. So I started a new one in 2025. If I want to look up, like I'm going to do a director's chair episode,
Mm-hmm.
I look up Michael Mann, Michael Mann, Michael Mann, all the conversations we had since 94 that I wrote down that I felt, and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe we said that. That's how I knew about that thing with Quentin. I had forgotten about that story with Quentin saying, Pulp Fiction. I'd forgotten that because from the moment I asked him that question to the success at Cannes was very quick. So it was a lost moment in time where I had it recorded down to the time, down to the hour when I asked him that question. He thought it wasn't, he didn't think that was the one for him.
Yeah, and there's I don't know, when it's private journaling, there's an honesty, there's an innocence that about like the dreams you have about the future, the conceptions you have about the future. I mean, that's what this thing is is a journal.
It's just a journal. And it's like,
But the profundity
you
comes
look
out of
back
it,
and it's
right?
crazy. Yeah, you didn't, and so much I figured out then. I'm talking like a professor by the end of that. Like people come up to me and they're
Yeah.
asking me all these
Yeah.
questions about stuff I wrote in there, and I'm like, I wrote that in that book. Shit, I was smart back then. What happened? I don't remember half of that. But I think that it's the same thing when you go to teach someone. Your mouth opens and stuff comes out. I'm always taping myself, like when I go to give a talk, because that's also the pipe working.
Mhm.
Someone else is talking through you sometimes. So the act of sharing, that's why I've always liked to share information because the feedback loop is insane. Like me inspiring Deji DJ to go write. He writes the script in 3 days, comes back, tells me, now I'm doing that method. And it's like, wow, people come back with their version. And I love telling my kids stuff that I learned that I wish I could tell myself, but I can't take a time machine. The closest thing is telling your kid because then they can take that information and process it. So many times they've come back and said, wow, Dad, the lesson you taught us about this is really, it's really become big in our minds. Yeah, what was that? And they tell me, and I'm like, I never told you that. They say, yeah, you told us. Well, I told you maybe 10% of that. All the rest you added. Oh yeah, well, we embellished it over. Like they turned it into something else. And it's like, wow, that's so cool. But yeah, that thing about reliving, like that was one of my favorite ones. Just, yeah, my mom turning 75 and not wanting to do anything for her 75th birthday. I said, "Why not?" She goes, "The whole family's gonna, you have 10 kids. They're all gonna wanna do something for your 75th birthday. Nothing can top my 65th." I was like, "What do we do on your 65th?" I didn't even remember even. I'm the one who orchestrated it all. She goes, "Oh, you flew everyone in from all over the country. You gave me a car. I gotta have a journal of that." So I'm sure I have video. I go back 10 years. I see what tape I had it on, find the tape, pop the tape in. Forgot about all this stuff. So I cut together a 10-minute version of it, showed it at her 75th birthday. Just watching the old one, everybody was like, "Oh my god, look how young everybody was. Look how small the nieces and nephews were." She starts bawling as soon as she gets the key, the gift of the key in the video, because she realizes now what it's gonna mean, that she's gonna get this car. And so it's like, wow, let's just play the old tapes. We don't even have to do anything anymore. We banked so much amazing stuff that we've all forgotten, that, my kids just love watching their old home movies. They hardly remember any of it, but even a VHS to them is virtual reality, because compared to our memories, it is virtual reality. They're like leaning into the screen to see what's around the corner, and they're remembering the place and the sounds. And they say, "Oh, we left the living room. It's like we're there." It's like, wow. I was always afraid they would see this old footage and go, this is dog shit. Kind of camera was that? It's the limitations of, you put up one of those files on your screen, it's like this big on your laptop now. That's how low res shit was back then. But that didn't matter. It's like, compared to our memories, that stuff, living is reliving. Like, pull up shoot as much as you can, take as many pictures, but write the journal, because you'll have a picture. I swear, you're not going to know what it's from. Even 10 years from now, you won't know what that picture's from. You read the diary, you go, oh, that's what that is. Oh my God, you can piece together all these things that are important to you, or that become more important with time, actually. And what's important later compared to what's then happening at the time.
To add on top of that, so journaling is a kind of raw, or like home films is a raw projection of what's going on in the moment. I think it's also really powerful because I've done that. Is to do a high effort description of where your life is just for yourself. So sometimes journaling is like low effort.
Yeah, sometimes it's just, I just want to mark that,
Yeah.
we had this conversation. I had to go do something at
Yeah.
5. I did that. Met somebody that I know last night. I met somebody that's going to be life changing. I'm going to write a little bit more on that, because I could just, now I know, but I'm going to just record it so later if I look it up.
So one of the cool things you could do is, like for example, somebody, Jamie Mr. Beast does these videos, which are great. I think it's a great exercise to do for yourself, which is a video he records for himself that he doesn't look at, to be published 20 years from now. This is a message to myself 20 years from now. Here's where I hope you end up. You're basically a younger version of yourself speaking
Mm-hmm.
to an older version.
Yeah.
And then you get, time flies. And like you get to a point where it's like, holy shit, it has been 10 years, it has been 20 years. You get to listen to a younger version of yourself. Like it would have been hilarious if you shot videos like that to yourself, because of just like the incredible journey your career has been on. And just to think about that, like the difference between what your dreams were and where you ended up. Usually you outdo yourself in many ways. Sometimes your life goes in a totally different trajectory. Um, and the result is kind of funny. It's a nice illustration of the nonlinearity of life.
I would film stuff like that with my kids. I couldn't do it,
Mhm.
but I would film my kids saying, "Hey, turn to the camera now and say, 'Hey, Rebel, it's me, Rebel. Talking to Rebel in the future.'"
Yeah. So you have
And so
shot stuff like that.
yeah, and then they
Cool.
show them
Cool.
like that 10 years later, and they're like, "Whoa." Just to see it, talking to them and saying,
Yeah.
and I would do this thing where I would film them watching it and then pan off, so that 10 years later I could get, "Hey, Rebel," him reacting, pan off to the new Rebel watching it. It's just like keeps going. So I have one like that where it just
Well
keeps
done.
panning, and they're
Well
watching
done.
themselves within the movie,
Well
within the movie,
done.
within the movie. It's like an ongoing project. It's just so fun to just play with memory and make you realize how fast time moves, and they go like, "I kind of remember that, but I don't remember being that tiny when I
Yeah.
had that memory." It's like wild, how time moves, and it makes them
Yeah.
feel much more precious about how quick time moves, and how important every little moment is, because you see the fragility of it too.